Right, good morning everybody. If everybody's still there, let's get this back on. There we go, back in here. Good. Lemon, how you doing? Doc, Jayhawk, Dave, Dan, Peter, Alan, good. Hello everybody. John, anybody else? Sean. Yes. So I've just been running up the stairs. I'm out of breath. I'm unfit. Whew, medical's coming up soon. Doctor's not going to like me for that one. Yeah, I've been so busy, guys. I think it's in the description. I've literally been flying, sim, flying. Non-stop bloody work. I suppose it's Easter, sort of expected. And then every day, I was speaking to Gav yesterday, every bloody day I get off, it's like a weekend or Mrs. is at home or doing whatever, and it's, you know, she just invariably ropes me in to do something. So, which basically means all of this stuff on the sim is effectively non-existent and doesn't happen. That was a long holiday. Yeah, we're going to... I tell you what, sometimes going to work feels like a holiday compared to bloody family life. But yeah, here we go. So I've literally just spent the last 5 minutes just watching Gav's video about the new fly-by-wires. A few things wasn't there. So apparently the lighting's changed. Not like we're going to see too much of that today because it's daylight. The fuel system has changed, or they've done something apparently a little bit hard to see, I suppose, in this picture. But yeah, what I was going to say about the fuel system is this overhead panel is still incorrect. Regarding a Neo, this is still a CEO sort of what you call description of kind of what the fuel panel or architecture looks like. So on a Neo, we don't have pumps, we don't have centre tank pumps. Can we go? Where's an overhead view? Go on, it's got to be one of these buttons has got to go to an overhead. There we go. So yeah, they're called pumps here, but they're not called pumps in the Neo. They're called centre tank transfer valves. And the green lines effectively go that way and that way into the wing tanks. So they're transfer pumps, transfer valves that pump fuel from the centre tank into the respective fuel tanks, the sort of the inner fuel tanks in the wings. And it's all sort of done, they're sort of Venturis effectively, and obviously the pressure in the inner tanks is lower than the centre tanks, and because the engines are sucking fuel up from the inner tanks, the Venturi just effectively goes and sucks all the fuel from the centre tanks into the wing tanks. But the lines are slightly sort of different, so this is still sort of incorrect. I'm sure I spoke to Fly-by-Wire months ago about this, and I think this is an Azobo thing, they can't really change. But apparently the architecture on the ECAM and everything else does work correctly, so we can kind of disregard the odd slight labelling differences. Right, what are we doing today? To Jersey. Well, I say we're going to Jersey. We're going to attempt to go to Jersey. There's a landing distance performance already. That's not looking great, is it? But let's have a look at the... Where are we? I need to know. I haven't flown for so bloody long. Well, not in this thing. Obviously, in real life I have. But I'm trying to remember where the hell things are. There we go. OFP, that's what I want. So, yeah, let's have a look at the weathers, because that's quite pertinent for today. Ew. Right, London. So severe turbulence forecast, somewhere around there. Wind shear, embedded CBs. Yeah, ideally you want a weather radar, I suppose, if you're doing that. So not looking particularly good. Brest as well. That's sort of near where Jersey is. It's not looking good. So let's have a quick look. So 25028, gusting 39. So it's only 20 degrees. Not even that. It's 10 degrees off the runway centre lines. So I mean, there's not a lot of crosswind in that, but CBs around would like a weather radar ideally. Gusting 40, this isn't looking great. CBs, prop 30 tempo, kind of. I mean, we're going to be leaving. We're supposed to go in about half hour. Probably won't quite make that, but it's going to be somewhere around there. 7,000 meters, rain showers with CBs. Obviously thunderstorms, not thunderstorms, but CBs are around. So a wet runway, and then potentially again still hanging around to sort of 6 o'clock. Zulu, and becoming. Is it the 12th today? I don't actually know. What is the day today? Yeah, there's my right button. Time, date. It is the 12th today, isn't it? Yeah, so 12. Potentially gusting to 55. So there's not really any limitations with that, because it is straight down the strip, but I mean, that is looking pretty shite. Just landed there, HD. Bit gusty, yeah, so you got in, so it's not too bad. So there we go, pilot report, so generally should be pretty good. Prop 30 tempo, 4,000 meters. Heavy rain showers and hail. Ugh. So yes, this is a day where there would probably be a collective conversation between me and Ops going, do you want me to go? and they will probably say, what do you want to do? And I say, well, I can give it a go. It may not get in, but I can certainly give it a go. Anyway, so Jersey isn't particularly good, so we're certainly not going to take minimum fuel on that one. And then the alternate is obviously Gatwick. So, you know, commercially, if we can't get into Jersey, just come back to Gatwick and we're good. But then Gatwick isn't particularly great either. So it's not too bad at the minute. 240 at 14. Prop 30s, that's this morning. Gusting to 30 sort of about now. And then later on, 6,000 metres, rain showers broken. So it's all relatively Cat 1, but here we go, Prop 30. That's a sort of time zone we would be coming back if we need to. 220, 25, gusting 40. So almost outer limits to return. Really, I mean, you could kind of disregard the gusts, but, you know, obviously in reality, if those gusts picked up, then may not happen. 4,000 metres broken. So cloud base is good and vis is good, but the winds are looking a bit shite. Becoming 260 at 16, gusting 28. So we know later on it's going to get more down the strip, but we're not going to be hanging around for that long. And then later on and tomorrow, that's not great either. Where's my other airports? I want Heathrow. Why is it not giving me more airports? I should have loads of... Why is it... No. So my OFP hasn't given me any more airports. Hang on a minute. Let's see if I can... let's see if we can do this again. It's dumped all my bloody alternates for some reason. Is this a sim brief problem? No, the airports are there. Okay, interesting. So yeah, that's odd. Sim brief. I've got Heathrow, Bristol, and Manchester as other alternates, but it hasn't actually populated it in the flight plan itself. So why would that be? Maybe there's a bug in SimBrief. Not quite sure on that one. Anyway, we can have a quick look. Is there a facility to look at weather somewhere else? Probably. Can I? Oh, there we go. Maybe try that. EGLL. It's no TAF in the minute, but it's not looking too bad. There's the other one. EGGD. Yeah, southerly winds in Bristol, that's not particularly good either. Manchester, that's not too bad. So Manchester potentially could be quite good. Obviously need to have a look at the TAF at some point on that one. Hey Neil, how you doing? Mark, good to see you. So anyway, going back to the flight plan. So we know the weather's not particularly good. We're going to try and get back to Gatwick. We're going to have to look at the fuel as well in a second and get everyone on. So in terms of NOTAMs, not too much, bit of work in progress, usual sort of stuff. Gatwick's always a bloody construction site pretty much. Stand closed, don't care about that. Potentially, there we go, 26 left, 26 right. 26 left, 08 right is going to be closed later. So, well, there we go. I mean, not that VATSIM do this. It's a shame. I wish VATSIM would sort of implement this a bit more. I know there's obviously scenery conflicts with other people, but yeah, secondary runway later on tonight. Jersey, nothing too much. Restriction areas, cranes, don't care about avgas. Good. ILS, aha! Yes, I remember something in work about this. Bollocks. The ILS is out as well. That is one good thing I forgot about. Even more interesting. So again, this is a sim thing. It's a shame that the sim can't implement this, but yeah, we can't even do an ILS because technically the ILS is out of service. So we have to look at the alternative procedures. Obviously, make sure that the weather's good enough for that. Some en routes, NOTAMs, which nobody ever fucking reads. Yeah, we do read. We do. Yeah, on record, we do read these. Of course, we do. Which usually talks about some bloody bombing range somewhere. Sigmets, nothing but strong winds. Which is interesting because there are CBs around, so I'm surprised there's no sort of CBs marked on there. Right, so let's have a quick look at the fuel. Now we need to look about this, how we're going to do it. So, payload wise, it's not too bad, 145 passengers or so. Everything else is pretty normal on this. Block fuel is about 4 tons. And what have we got? We've got a landing weight restriction here. So max landing weight, what are we? 67.4 tons. So that would make sense. We've got about 6.5 tons worth of extra fuel.
Good morning, Computer and
Deliveries on, are they? Let's just quiet and new for a second. Right, so how much fuel are we going to take? Well, we're not going to take flog fuel. That would be ridiculous on a day like today. I mean, if we'd even go flying, might be interesting. So we need 4 tons. I'm going to write this down because I need to sort of work this out in terms of what we want to do. So obviously we want to come back to Gatwick. Potentially, we know we've got Manchester. Manchester's pretty good. Manchester's probably another 800 kilograms on top of that potentially. So let's say it's 2 tons for Manchester. That's going to be worst case. We probably want another go in Jersey. So that's going to be another half a ton for another go, just in case we can't get it on the first attempt. Now, obviously, if we do 2 go-arounds here, it's probably going to be weather-related, and in that case, we can't make a third approach. So then we'd have to go to our nominated diversion, which is either going to be Gatwick or Manchester, depending on how good the weather is. Possibly even Heathrow. Heathrow might be fine, because that's obviously a base for British Airways. So we want 500. Then we want a bit of holding fuel as well. So, really... you know, I want to maybe hold for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, just in case the weather dies down. We might sort of, you know, as the METARs update, we might find that the weather's a little bit better. So 30 minutes, well, 30 minutes is quite easy to work out, because we've got 30 minutes there as final reserve. That's about 900 kilograms. Let's have another 900 there for 30 minutes holding. And then we want to come back to Gatwick. So normally, you'd think if we've used most of that fuel, and come back to Gatwick, great, but Gatwick isn't brilliant either in terms of the weather, so we probably want another go in Gatwick as well. So then we want probably another 500 kilograms to have another go in Gatwick, and maybe another 20 minutes of holding there. So let's say another 800 for that, just in case. Gatwick is shite, and we got to hold. So let's see if we can add all this up. So what do we want? So we want 800, so that's a ton. So we got 1 ton there for the 2 go-arounds and 2 approaches. Another 900 for holding, that's 1.9. Another 800 for more holding in Gatwick, that's 2.7. And another 800 for Manchester, which is then, what's that, 3.5. So quite potentially 3.5 tons extra is going to cover holding at both Gatwick and Jersey, if we need to do that, if we need to come back to Gatwick as well. 6 tons sounds good. I mean, you know, you're not far off, really. It's the day where you don't get too finicky about it. You know, your sharp pencil becomes very, very blunt on days like today. So yeah, we've got enough there for 30 minutes to hold in Jersey, potentially another 20 minutes of holding back in Gatwick. We've got enough for a couple of goes both in Jersey and Gatwick, and we've got Manchester fuel probably bunged in there, which is going to come to about an extra 3.5 tons, which is below what we can load. We can load up to 6.5. In a case like this, maybe we might just round it up to about 4 tons extra. So if that's the case, that's going to be about potentially 8 tons, if my arithmetic serves me right. Yeah, if we take 8 tons, we're going to burn about 1,500, and our landing weight is probably going to be somewhere, what's that, maybe 65 tons approximately. We can obviously look at this once we've got it in the FMGC. So we're going to land at about 65 tons. We want to see if we can actually land at 65 tons in Jersey, which is where we might have to tweak things. So where's the calculator? There it is. Now I've already done a landing distance calculation for Jersey here, and that's assuming a wet runway at 62 tons. So can we do it at 65? Probably not. So this might... somebody's at the door. Hang on a minute. 1 second. Thank you. Yes. Right, I'm really sorry guys, I've just remembered the boiler man's come to service the boiler. So I might have to just come offline for half an hour or so, half hour, 40 minutes, just while he does the boiler, and then come back in 40 minutes. So obviously we'll plan to do this, but yeah, I need to just crack on with this and make sure this is done. So apologies about that. I completely forgot. This is the thing, he works so bloody much, and then you come home your days off, think, oh, I've got time off, and then there's obviously something else that you've got to be done. So anyway, I'm just gonna disconnect and go offline for 30-40 minutes, and then I will be back. So just bear with me, and we will touch base and come back to what we were talking with when I come back on. So yeah, give me 40 minutes and I shall be back in a bit. All right, see you in a bit.